Hello, welcome back to my channel. Let me take this out. Hello, if you're new here, hi, my name is Jess. I'm doing Wicked 3, as you can see from the title. This is the first update, and I actually asked on my community page, do you want to see one video per prompt, or do you want to see one video per month? And it was voted for one video per month, so buckle up because it's probably going to be a very long video again. I have the fan on and the window open. I think I'm going to turn off the fan. Guess what? I'm actually working on 2 books at once, and that would fulfill 4 prompts already. Or not a full prompt, but a prompt within a prompt, you know what I mean? So let me get my trusty new notebook out. Why? Like, why does it feel so nice to get a new notebook and, you know, to start a new challenge? Why is that? I don't know. So, you know, I wrote down July 1st. We're starting. I'm currently reading, listening to, let me show you. Paused it. Now do the Pomodoro timer, right? 25 minutes of focus and then 5 minutes break. So currently reading, listening to The Housemaid's Wedding. 25 minutes in, and it's only like it's like a novella, right? It's like 1 hour 45 minutes, something like that. So that will count for, I will actually put it here, that will count for my backlog of authors because I chose Freedom FM. And it will also count for the secret prompt, which is the crafting prompt. And I'm currently, I don't know if you know these little melting beads here. Oh no. Maybe I should not lift it up. It goes with a plate like this, and then you have to put your beads on, iron them. Oh god. Don't fall. Then I later turn them into not keychains, what do you call that? Key rings thingies here, right? That's what I'm currently working on. And 2 birds with 1 stone. Because the other book is rather short, like I said, 1 hour 45 minutes. So that if I really want to, I could finish that today. However, as I said, I'm working on 2 books. I also started All Systems Red by Martha Wells. This is the cover, and that will count for Rainbow Red, and also for another secret prompt, and that is reading outside. Now, I filmed a clip here and there where I was actually outside listening to the audiobook. Again, very short, like 2 hours 33 minutes. It would be so nice. However, you know, if you're new here, I do a challenge where I buy 1 book for every book that I read. I do not own these books, they only be. So I started today, July 1st, with 0 books. Right? No books read, no books bought or brought in or whatever. Then I got 2 books from Libby, which means that I'm now at -2. And if I want to buy a new book, I have to read 3. That is not going that great. For the first month, I only have 1 physical book. Maybe 2, you know, if I get the new Lucy's Touching book, I have 2, but the rest is all just on Libby. So that is what I'm doing right now. I don't know how many secret prompts there are. 12, I think. I'm working on 2 already. It's going okay-ish. You know, like it's just listening to an audiobook, trying to relax, and actually like the All Systems Red, that is a bit confusing because it's sci-fi and sci-fi is not really my forte, right? So yeah, I have to really keep my attention span going and, you know, focus on what else going on in that book because sometimes I'm a little lost. But yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I will continue to do my little craft here. Like I said, both of these books are very short, so if I really want to, I could finish them both today. You know, I just, for the Martha Wells one, I just have to go outside and go for a walk while listening to the audio. I think I'm not like 40% into that already. From just sitting outside and walking outside. 47% done already. Like I'm almost halfway done with that book. So what if I just sit on the balcony and finish that book? I'm going to continue with my cute key rings here, and then I will report back when I'm done with the book, and then we will see what I pick next. Because the thing is, yes, I picked the author backlog as my first challenge, but as much as I love Miss McFadden, I just cannot read 5 books back to back by her. So I figured, you know, get the Housemaid's Wedding and get the Martha Wells book. And then when I'm done with the Housemaid's Wedding, I get another one from Freedom FM. Then I might read my physical book that I have, Nemesis Mine. You know, just switch it up a little because otherwise it will just be a bit too much McFadden-y. But so far I'm doing great. You know, we are 2:30 p.m. on July 1st, and I started 2 books. I started 4 prompts. It's going great. So I will continue now. Then I will talk to you whenever I'm done with book or when I pick the next one. Hello, today is, I think, the first official update in this update. So, yeah, I have written down quite a lot of things already on the second page, and it's only July 3rd. Let me close the window. I should do that before I press start. I have finished a few books already, and like I said, we're only July 3rd. So, anyways, I started my Hurricane year and my month with a brand new book, The Housemaid's Wedding. It is the first book that I got in July. I think I got it even like 2 minutes after midnight. Okay, like the first book, and it is just a short novella. It's counted as 2.5, but apparently you can also read it after the third book. It doesn't really matter. So, as the title says, Housemaid's Wedding. So we're back with Millie because that's a whole series, and Millie's getting married, as the title says. And surprisingly, that part was the most boring for me, which is funny because it's the whole premise of the book, her getting married. There was a part where she got called and she was being told, "I will kill you," and she's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." And then creepy things start happening, and the caller calls again and says, "Well, when was the last time you checked your closet now that your boyfriend is out of the house?" And she's like, "How do you even know that?" That whole story was fascinating and really gave me the heebie-jeebies. You know what I mean? Like, imagine someone telling you, "When was the last time you checked whatever room in your house now that your partner or your roommate, housemate, whatever is gone?" That would give me chills in real life. That part was great. The whole wedding thing, like I said, I didn't really care that much about it, but whatever. I give it 3 stars. It's a very short book, so I think that 1 hour 45 minutes, the audiobook. So that is done. That counted for the backlist author prompt because I'm doing Freedom FN, and that counted for the secret prompt because I did some crafting while listening to that. 1 book done, 2 prompts started. Then I got another new book, All Systems Red by Martha Wells. That, as the name says, counts for red, the rainbow tag, and then also for secret prompt because I read the book outside. Or like anytime I left the house, earpods on, and we're good to go. So that is also, again, a very short book. I think 3 hours. It was doable. I don't know what all the people are seeing in this book. Is it me just not being into sci-fi? Is it me just not enjoying the main character, who's actually like a robot, like an android, whatever? Because I feel like a lot of people rank that book so high, and they even said that in the reviews. They rank the book so high because they can identify with the main character, because it's very awkward. It, as they call the book, it wants to be left alone and just watch the series day in, day out. Yes, it is relatable, but the rest of the story, like, you just get thrown into a shark tank, and then good luck with finding out what the hell's going on. I appreciate that the audiobook had, different narrators and actors in there as well, like everyone had a different voice, and it was actually like you were in there. But it was also like I said, you were thrown into a shark tank. I give this 2 stars, because no. I feel like for me to actually be good, you need more explanation, and given the fact I saw the book in real life, it's only like this big. There's not much you can do. I got another new book. All of these books are only B, okay? I got Never Lie by Freedom FN because, again, backlist. I need to get going. This is my second Freedom FN book right now that I have. And I'm currently reading that. That will count for backlist and also character to author because the main character in here is called Ethan. And the first author that came to mind when I read Ethan was Ethan Cross. I read the first one. I remember it's in German. I don't know how the English one is, but the German cover is fully black. You can just kind of make out the title because it's raised a little. Yeah, I read that years ago. For Hurricane, the rule is you can do a reread if it's longer than 5 years, right? If not, I will go for the second book because it only comes down to the author being Ethan. I don't know who the main character is in that series, but then I need to find an author with the first name of that main character. I'm still reading Never Lie, so I cannot tell too much about it, but it's good. You have newlyweds, Ethan and Trisha, and they are looking for a new house to buy, and they were supposed to meet with their real estate agent. That person is not showing up. However, they come to that huge, gigantic house, and they see that the light is on in the first floor, and they're like, "Well, it's probably Judy, our realtor." I think that's what's called. No one is in the house, but how did the light turn on? As soon as Trisha steps into the house, she's like, "Oh God, I'm feeling very weird here. This house is haunted. Something is wrong with this house." It actually belonged to a psychiatrist called Adrian. I think it was Adrian. Yeah, Adrian has a secret room somewhere where she kept all the audio recordings of her clients because she actually took her clients in. You know, they came to therapy sessions to her. And some of the stuff that's being told there is not that cool. And one of the people that she had sessions with is called EJ. Ethan? EJ? Am I making the right connection here? Is Ethan actually coming back to the place? Funny thing is, well, not funny for me, not funny for Trisha, but yeah, like over the mantle, there's that huge portrait of Adrian hanging there that's literally staring into her soul. I'm sure you know paintings like that. And Trisha's like, I'm freaked out by this painting. So Ethan takes it off to his doorway so you can see the back. Then when Trisha wanders around the house because she can't sleep, she hears a loud noise. And guess what? She walks past the mantle and the painting is hanging again. Okay, so she tells Ethan about it because, you know, he's woken up. Like, what the hell? Where have you been? Why do you have a knife in your hand? Because Trisha heard the noise. Why do you have a knife in your hand? Someone put that painting back up. And then he's like, well, I did. I moved the painting. I told you that. She said, okay, fine. The next day, the painting is gone again, where it stood, facing the back. And Trisha's like, so you took it down again? And he's like, no, I took it down yesterday. I told you that. I moved the painting. And she's like, well, you told me you put it back up. No, he's like, no, I moved it down. What the hell's going on? Who is living there? I feel like, you know, I've read a couple of Freedom of Fans now. I think Ethan is absolutely messing with her head. Because if not, it's going to be great. And also Alien was kidnapped and we don't know who it was. The suspect is actually her boyfriend or ex-boyfriend or whatever, Luke. Or it was Ethan. My mind is just running wild and I really love this. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm also reading, I don't have it here, but I'm reading Nems Is Mine by Amy Ocher. This is what the cover looks like that you might know. So far, I like it. I like it. I found out that this would count for Secret Pomp, that is my newest acquisition, and it comes from Pokemon Grass. If you read the book, you know what it is. It's not on here, but there's a lot of grass and just nature and nurturing nature, growing things. Funny enough that, you know, my actual July TBR is for the backlist author thing, but I'm already having 3 books for Secret Prompts. And I'm only on the 2nd book for author backlist. My goal is to read this whenever I have time. Definitely finish Never Lie. And then I will continue with Housemaid 3. You know, I want a bit more. You know, I didn't want to read Housemaid's Wedding and then Housemaid 3. So I'm switching up. When I'm done with Never Lie, I'm going with Housemaid 3. Then I'll probably go for The Boyfriend. Then I go for The Crash. Then I'm done with it. And this I'm just chopping on. Because this is not the official. I mean, wait. This is the official TBR. I put it on there. But my official project that I'm working on right now is the backlist author. This I still have time to finish whenever I want. But I really want July to be focused on Freedom FM. That's it. That's where I'm at right now. 2 books finished. Another 2 books currently started. And it's going good. I'm so happy that I can double up on things, right? I know I've watched a lot of Hercule 3 videos. I know a lot of people want to go for 1 book per prompt. How are you doing this? Are you actually, like, you are actually, like, a full-on, like, I don't even know how to describe you. That is just madness. Good for you, really, but oh my, I could not. But it's like 150 books that you have to read for this challenge. No. I hope you enjoyed this update. Let me know what you're reading. If you made it this far, the vlog is already 11 minutes long. If you made it this far, let me know what you're reading and what your plans are for Hercule 3. I will go continue to listen to Never Lie. And then I'll be back. I think, I don't know, maybe in a couple of days, but I'll be back when I'm done with this. And then, because this is a physical read, the other one is the audiobook. I'll probably have 2 audiobooks done by the time I'm done with this. But I'm not complaining, so bye. Hello, welcome to another update. In this update, I don't know when I did the last full update, but yeah, a lot has happened between the last update, the clip, and now. I have done a book haul, and I hope it is up already. The thing is, I don't mind filming videos, but the editing, oh god, I hate the editing. That's the only thing I hate, right? Uploading, it's fine, you know, I can leave the laptop on for a bit and it just uploads, but the editing, oh god. Anyways, so I got a couple of books there. I think it's 4 from the library, then 6 or so that I ordered online, another Lustgesellschaft book. It's quite a lot, so I'll link it here, which is why I probably will not mention the books in this vlog, because you've seen a video for that. However, let me see, I think the last time I updated you was July 2nd, and we are now July 11th or so it's quite, I'm still keeping track of everything that I do, So let's get started. So apart from the books that I've showed you, I got this one as well, The Boyfriend by Freida McFadden. You know, I told you my boyfriend has a book. Here it is, and I got it and I read it already. And this kind of for the backlist author and titular counting, The Boyfriend. So that is done. This was actually very nice. Oh my god, I listened to it while going to the library, and the plot twist that happened now, like, I was shook to the core. This is good. This is very, very good. I like that book. I've got all my down there, my Freida McFadden shelf. This was really good. I enjoyed that. I also finished Never Lie by Freida McFadden. You know, I actually want to put all the covers in the video, but it's gonna be what? It's gonna be a month-long update. And we will see. If you see the cover, you see it. If you don't, then I cannot be bothered with it. So I finished Never Lie. Again, a plot twist that shook me to the core. Like you thought that you had everything figured out and who did what and who was responsible for what, and then boom, something happens, and you're like, you know, when it was revealed who was behind it, oh boy. I like that one as well. I'll probably get the physical book if I ever get to a bookstore. Then I got and finished this. This was from the book that I got. This is Red Apple by Koji Murata. And this kind of for her kid mashup, because I want to do the lowest rated books by people of color. And also kind of foot pyramid, because apple. This could also kind of for red. Red apple. You have 2 in 1 if you want to use it. However, you know, this is not for children. This is 18 plus, because I can't even tell you. This is just like, no. Why is a female teacher doing that to a female student? No. This will go. I wanna no. 2 stars for me. Or maybe I should also tell you what I read the other books, but I forgot. New in my collection was The Housemaid 3, which I also finished. I finished it yesterday. I give this 2 stars. If you know how much I love the Housemaid series, this book, oh my god, the first half was just Millie and Enzo, because Enzo apparently had to have a bigger role in the books. Like, I don't have anything against it, but oh my god, like, I have the audiobook, and if he says Millie one more time in that Italian accent, I would fucking slap him across the face. It pisses me off. That whole first half of the book is just them being a happy family because they now have children. A happy family, and they move to a new neighborhood, and you know, like, oh my god, I'm getting so old, I have back pain, and how Enzo is still the most sexiest man alive, and shut the fuck up. And all that whole children thing. I'm not a fan of kids in books, and I'm definitely not a fan of annoying kids in books. The plot twist comes, and you're like, of course. Yes, of course this is about to happen. Like, it was so surreal and so unbelievable that I hope that Freida McFadden is never ever picking up a pen again to write about Millie. Let the housemaid rest. This was enough. I'm done with that whole series. Even if there was a new book coming out, I will not read it because I'm done. Enzo had too much of a role, and Enzo had, like he just really pissed me off. Like, why is he not honest to his wife? He always claims that, oh, I'm such an honest guy and I would never do anything to hurt you and I would blah blah blah. And then he goes and does stuff that is like, who are these people? Millie as well. Millie was like the badass that helped all the women get out of very dangerous situations. Now she's like the perfect mother and worrying about whether her son is still peeing the bed or not. Like, who are you? I read that, finished it as well. That's counting for the backlist author. And nothing else, just the backlist author, I think. Or did I put it into, no, backlist author and into the titular counting? The housemaid is watching. So for the latest book that I finished is this one here. I have not taken everything out. Let me just put the cover back on. Nemesis Mine by Amy Archer. This counted for Secret Prompt, newest book in my collection. I paid that before I got the whole newest book in my collection, and Pokemon Grass, because the main character has like grass abilities. That makes sense. 2 stars for me. This is a cozy fantasy. I don't like cozy fantasies. I don't need a slasher type of book, right, which is like blood and just gore. But I don't like the cozy stuff. And towards the end, like, it's I won't tell too much about it because I'm actually filming a vlog on it, and I also have to edit it. I have to edit so many things. Yeah, 2 stars. It felt very YA. You have the main character, Cyrus, who is a wrongdoer, right? You have the champions that are the good people, and you have the wrongdoers that are the bad people that terrify the town and terrify the people and maybe do some awesome here and there. Cyrus is just a Dick. He's a wannabe villain, but he's more of a prankster because nobody takes him for a villain. I don't take him for real either. Max is the champion, you know, that has been the champ for like 15 years or so, and people are kind of, I don't want to say they get tired of him, but you know, he's feeling that he might not be good enough anymore, and you know, you have the young people come in that want to take his spot, so they work together and fake a feud, like, you know, or like Cyrus trying to destroy the town, and then Maximilian being like, oh, you know what, you're not going to do that, I'm going to destroy you. They end up falling in love, and they get betrayed by someone, and you know, big fights, and then now they leave together because happy ever after. I will probably sell this and hope the next person likes it. I can put my photo card back where it belongs. There you go. Put everything down. And the newest book that I have that I'm going to listen to is The Crash by Freedom FN. Counts for backlist author, obviously, and for Road Trip Maine, because it takes place in Maine. I think every single book that I've read counted for 2 prompts. I think. I'm not sure. And given the fact that I have The Crash as an audiobook, I want a physical book as well, and that is One Piece, Volume 21. Now, this will count for, it's not title, is it title accounting? It's the one where you need the number on the cover, you know, 1, 2, 3. One Piece. They are in a very sandy city, so maybe I can count it for Pokemon Sand. Is there Pokemon with Sand? That is the physical book. The Crash is the audiobook. I mentioned everything. The Crash is the last book that I need for the backlist author, which means that I will be done with 1 prompt. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? No. And the book that I want to get for the Shiritori one that I had to wait for, what was it, 12 weeks, is almost available. So, if I need a new audiobook, I can maybe start with the Shiritori prompt as well. We'll see. But yeah, that is it so far. 2 books that I'm getting rid of because no. So I'll put into the collection, and then I will continue to read. And yeah, be done with it because I'm just so happy that I can get everything done now, you know, in the beginning of the month and the beginning of the challenge, because I know that I will struggle towards the end. So you know, the more I can get done now, the better. We'll see you in the next update, the next clip. Bye. Hello, welcome. It's July 26th now. We're almost done with the month, and yesterday was my birthday. Nothing spectacular. It's just I'm just a year older, but we went on a very long hike, and you know, I might be a little raspy because it is very warm outside, but when you're in the forest, temperature drops, and when it's windy as well, I might sound a little off. I also feel like something's swollen here. Anyways, I have quite a lot to talk about, so I'm going to start off with the audiobooks that I finished. It's not in chronological order of when I finish something, because I think I finished some of the physical books in between, but I'll start with these. So, I finished The Crash by Freedom FN. That is, if you're interested in a retelling, sort of, kind of, it's giving Misery by Stephen King, right? Where you have one person who has a car accident and then gets brought into someone else's home and they just cannot leave for whatever reasons. I really liked the plot twist in that one. Oh, that was nice. You know, it was someone and something that I did not see coming, and I had a great time with that book. So I finished that book, which means that I have finished the backlist author prompt, all of it. I finished 5 books by Freedom FN. I think my least favorite, which is insane to say, is The Housemaid's Wedding and The Housemaid is Watching. That was just not it. I'm done with the backlist author, and The Crash also counted for Road Trip because that happened in Maine. You see the connection with Misery, Stephen King, Maine. You see it? Yeah. I get the fact that my prompt for July was backlist author, and I'm done with it. I started the next prompt, which is the Shiritori one for me. That was actually supposed to start in August, but here we are in July, and I have 3 books done already for that. I started, of course, with Hate a Rivalry. That book is in everyone's mouth, just like Ilya's is in Shane's mouth. You know what I mean? Anyways, is that really your favorite MLM story this year? Is that really it? Because the characters were so flat, and if you take the smut away, which is 90% of the book, it's just a 100-page book that is very badly written to the point where it reads like fanfiction. I know that the show is much better. You know, a lot of people have told me the show is much better than the book, and that the second book is a bit better than, well, you know, like this is actually part of a whole series called the Game Changer series. This is book 2, and I think the second book in the Shane and Ilya series is book 7 or 8. But the second book from them is a bit better than the first one, but it's still not great. So I will not continue with the series. I will not start the whole series. No, I just don't want to. But yeah, the ending was nice and sweet and wholesome, but the rest is just, like I said, a badly written fanfiction. Yeah, but anyways, Here the Rivalry, of course, ends with a Y, which means the next book has to start with a Y, and that is Yesteryear. That is the book that I put on my wait list on Libby, and I was on the 21st spot or so. It took forever to become available. I initially planned to have Shiri Tori prompt done in July, but this book is the reason why I couldn't. But then it was finally available, and I got it. Anyways, so yeah, Yesteryear. Oh yeah, Here the Rivalry can support Shiri Tori and curriculum sports, because you have one sport book that you can put in, and that is my sport book. Yesteryear can support Shiri Tori, of course, and Idaho. So again, the road trip, because it's up in Idaho. Luckily, there is a map of the United States in the spreadsheet, so I know where Idaho is. It's all the way up. America's fascinating. That's so huge. You know, over here, where I'm from, you can say, oh, I'm going on a 30-minute drive, and you are in a different country. In America, if you go on a 30-minute drive, you're still in the same city. Yes, oh my god, that is about an influencer who is very tried-to-wife, you know, who's very traditional views, and who is kind of like lying to the followers, because she's very rich, like her husband is rich, she's not. They have a huge mansion, they have different nannies and workers on the fields, but they never show that. They always show themselves, you know, being like traditional and making food from scratch and having a farm and, you know, caring about the farm animals and whatnot. And then somehow she wakes up in a whole different world, where her husband is kind of a husband but not really, and her children are kind of her children but not really. There was supposed to be a plot twist at the end, but I was just like, man, I'm so fucking with this book. The writing was, again, not that great. The story itself, I mean, I don't agree with those traditional views, but, you know, like, if you want to live like that, whatever, you know, like, it's your life, live it. Don't really bring the children in that do not have a choice, and especially with influencers that bring in their children with every video and every post they make. Don't do that, okay? I did not feel anything. Like, there were some points where I was very annoyed by our main character, but at the end I was just like indifferent about it. Okay, the book is done, and I'm done as well, because I do not want to read anything more. It was not that nice. I don't really know what the book is supposed to be. Is it supposed to be a parody? Is it supposed to be a lesson on how bad social media is? Is it supposed to be a lesson on live and let live? Is it supposed to be a book about, you know, how traditional views are sometimes not that bad, but sometimes they are? Yeah, I finished that one. Not that great. Then, Yesteryear ends with R, which means the next book has to start with R. And that I read Remarkably Bright Creatures. That, of course, stands for Shiri Tori and animal families. Mollusk? Yeah, that was sweet. I did not know what I expected, because I just recently finished the Life of an Octopus? The Soul of an Octopus. There were kind of similarities. I was like, okay, it's not a great... What was it called? What's that octopus called? A great... I don't know. It was the same octopus. But yeah, that story is very sweet, and there's a Netflix movie out as well. Basically, you have a couple of different people. Like, you have two main characters. You have Tova, and you have Cameron. They're both kind of lost souls, right? Tova has lost her husband and her son, and she's working at the aquarium, cleaning and all, and then she has an injury, and she has to take a step back. Cameron, he's also had a bit of a difficult life. You know, he grew up with his aunt because his mom is a drug addict. His father is not in the picture, and he's getting a box by his aunt saying, "This is from your mom, do with it whatever you want to do." Then he finds a ring that apparently belonged to his father, and then he's on the way to find his father. Now, they meet up at the same place, you know, the same city. I forgot what it was. Was it Washington? I almost took it for road trip as well, because Washington is, again, something completely different than Idaho and Maine. But, you know, I took the animal families because I figured, how many times am I going to read something with an octopus? Not often, so I took that one. And yeah, they meet, and then they, you know, they kind of get along very well, and there's a plot twist happening as well. And it was just a nice, wholesome story. Like the octopus part, there was an octopus part as well. I mean, it was nice, but it did really have to be in the story. Yeah, I finished that one as well, and that means that I have 3 Shiri Tori books done as well. I'm currently at -4 books that I can buy. You know, because I went to the library, I got like 4. So yeah, all of these were audiobooks from me, and not in my physical possession. So I'm reading physical books right now because I want to get a number down. I know we are the 26th of July. I will not read 5 books in order to get one new one. That's just not going to happen. But, you know, I don't want to end the month with -4 books. You know what I mean? So I'm reading physical books, which means that Chitori has, unfortunately, been put on a hold. And then next month I will start again. So physical books I read YN, so Your Name, by Esther Yi. That counted for the Hercule mashup. And the cover style, I went for monochrome because it's all blue. Light blue, dark blue, blue. Yeah, Hercule mashup is my lowest rated by person of color. This is about a fangirl, a K-pop fangirl, boy group then, like me. I went and saw BTS live. Can you see, like, if you're wondering what this is all freebies that ARMY gave out. So I have Seokjin over here, I have Nam, I have V, I have Hooligan, which actually goes in dark, which is very fascinating. I went and saw BTS live twice in Paris. It was magnificent. I know what it feels like to be a boy group stan, and I know that some people are sometimes taking it a bit too far. This book is also about someone who's taking it a bit too far, you know, who thinks that the idol is actually the husband and they want to get married and have children, blah, blah. Not everyone is like that, okay? Not everyone is like that. But this book, oh my god, every time I looked at I think it took me like a week to finish. Every time I looked at this book and thought, you have to read this because physical book, you know, it counts for Hercule and, you know, it's very, very short. And then I did not want to pick this up. I just did not want it. Yeah, this felt more like a parody and a joke, and the style, like the writing itself, was just not good at all. Like I get, like there is some valid criticism with stans in general. Not only boy group stans, not girl group stans, not K-pop, not rap, whatever. There's some valid criticism, but this is just a mockery. This feels like an actual fan fiction. I understand why it was so lowly rated because I feel like if the writing would have been better and it was not a mockery, I would have enjoyed it much more. But again, you know, I'm biased. I'm also a book fan. Not one of the crazy ones, but still, you know, like, not everyone's like that. But the book makes it look like everyone is. Then I also finished One Piece 21. Finally, that counts for Pokemon Ground because, you know, sand. There's no sand Pokemon, but, you know, there's sand in here. Should I give you a spoiler? There's Sanji fighting, and there is sand. Okay? There's a lot of sand. Sanji here in the sand. Pokemon sand. Which means I have 2 Pokemon done already. Grass and sand. Or normal. And that also counts for the counting. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the cover. So, for example, the 2 towers would count for 2. I don't have anything with 3, but you know, 1 piece is 1. You cannot count the numbers. I got a book from the library that's like 7 dials. All these 7 husbands of... I don't know, that would count for 7, right? I said it so many times, but I'm just happy to see people fighting that are not Luffy. I love Luffy, like he's my son, right? But seeing someone else fight is just so nice. And oh, Nami and Sanji and Zoro as well. Oh, there was some close calls with this whole arc thus far. Oh, where I thought, they're not gonna make this. They're just not gonna make this. And then there's a part where Usopp built Nami a bow staff, you know, like a fighting bow staff, and she had trouble figuring out how it actually works. And oh, it was a little, it was a little rough. You know, I was like, I'm rooting for her, of course, right? But maybe Usopp should have, you know, been a bit more clear about what that stick does and what it doesn't. That's everything I've read so far. Like I said, we are the 26th. I'm currently reading The Shepherd by Ethan Cross. That is my characters to authors. The main character in the book is called Francis. However, there are 2 main characters. One is called Marcus. And I think Marcus, an author named Marcus, is easier to find than one named Francis. But that might just be me. So, for the continue to read this, I will put into the public bookshelf, or I might even sell. This is going back to the library, which I have to go back in 10 days or so, and I still have to read 3 books. Bye. Hi, it is now July 31st, and I'm still in the middle of the book, so I will show you that tomorrow. But I have 4 books laying here, and I want to talk about them, and also have the fan on because it is once again very warm. I have everything closed down, and I hope the heat can stay out. Anyways, so I'm going to talk about this here. I got this at the library. This is by Anne Perry, $7. And you know what? I have absolutely no desire to read this. I got this because it has 7 in, right? For the what? No, not the title counting. What's numerical titles? But this is book 23 in a series, or 22, and I have no desire to read this at all. So this is going back unread. Yeah. Then I finished this one here. This is the Russiske Station 612. That counts for cover style illustrated, because obviously, and Shiritori, because I think the last book that I finished for Shiritori that I talked about is the Remarkable Bright Creatures, which ends with an S. And this is starting with an S. Zoma, so it ends with an E. The next book has to start with an E. I would like this. I'm not really a Mickey fan, as you may know. Mickey is just not Mickey, but anything with dogs in, give it to me. I soak it up like a sponge. So I really enjoy this. 2 more library books that I finished, so I'm done with all the library books. Granted, it was a bit of cheating with not reading this, but I literally have no desire to read this at all. I'd rather find another book. I think Agatha Christie also has a book called The Seven Dials or something like that. I might go for that, but not this one. I finished Eden Cross, Ishmael Nacht, so The Shepherd one. This is a reread for me. I read this, I think, in 2015 or 2016, so, you know, it was qualified to be a reread. And this counted for chapter to author. I read the Freedom McFadden book. I don't remember which one it was, but the main character in there was called Ethan, so, Ethan Cross. And the next one, you have 2 main characters in there. One is Francis, who is the main murderer, and then you have Marcus, who is, you know, like, who's trying to solve the murder, and who's also in a bit of trouble with the sheriff and all. So I went for Marcus. And then also it counts for road trip, because this, for the most part, plays in Texas. I did not like this. I didn't like it the first time I read it, and frankly, I just reread it because it has Ethan in. And that was the first author that came to mind where I saw Ethan. I was like, yeah, Ethan Cross. It was, yes, you have the slasher moments that happen, but the rest of the story is just so boring, and I just did not care for most of the part. I said that in the first review that I did, that only the last 100 pages actually were good, and I still stand by it. Maybe even the last 50 pages were good, because I did not enjoy this, and I will not continue with the series. I think it's like a very long series as well. Then I finished Lost Boy by Christina Henry, and I said in the haul that I did, I think this is the POV from Wendy Peter Pan. No, it's Hook. You can see the hook in here did not click with me. So this obviously counts for remix, because it is the villain POV of how the boy turned into the villain that he later is, and also counts for Pokemon like fighting, because there's a lot of fighting on. If you watched Peter Pan, if you read about Peter Pan, you know there's a lot of fighting between the boys and the pirates, and even between the boys themselves. So Pokemon fighting. I will give you a full rundown. I think tomorrow when I do the last updating. Or yeah, technically today is the last day, as you know, but tomorrow I will talk about the book that I'm currently reading, which I probably will not finish, but it's okay. Then I will also tell you what I finished. This was okay. I feel like this read very young. This was in the normal library section. It was not at the young adult section or the middle grade or whatever, but it read very young. There was a fight in them that were a bit brutal, but overall it was okay for me. I would give this 3 stars because I did not really enjoy it that much. I've never been a real Peter Pan fan. Not the animated thing, not the Robin Williams thing. Just Peter Pan as a character, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure the movies are great, but just Peter Pan as a character, no. And this book made me like him even less, because he's just, like, I cannot stand him. Which is sad, you know, saying that about a literal boy. But I cannot stand Peter Pan. Same as I also cannot stand Mickey. It's just how it is. Sometimes you just don't vibe with characters. It's these 2 for me. Yeah, I like that Hook was actually, like, he's actually much more human than Peter. You know, you would think that, oh, Peter is saving all these lost souls and lost boys, and he's giving them a better future. He's not. I mean, in this book, he's not. He's just not. And honestly, I'm rooting for Hook. I don't know if there's a second book, but I'm rooting for Hook, and I hope he takes some people in. I just say that. So, that was the update for now. Again, I will be back tomorrow. The longest time, I just kept thinking about this book, and then I still have to read it, and I have to give it back to the library and all, and it's just... Why would I force myself to read a book that I'm not interested in? Yes, you could argue, why did you get it in the first place? Because I saw 7, and I thought, yeah, it's great, and I thought it was the 7th book in the series, or not even. I didn't even read this part here, which says a Charlotte and Thomas Pitt novel. I didn't even read that. I just thought, oh yeah, $7, let's get it. Yeah, maybe I should spend more time in the library and actually think about what I want to get, what I want to check out. I checked my TBR for August, and I think there are like 10 or 11 books on there. Add another one, because obviously there's a novel Russiske Station coming, and I got a library, so some of these books this book. Yeah, I might have to go very slow in library. Maybe just get the One Piece book or two, and that's it. Yeah. So, anyways, I will see you tomorrow with the last update. The last update for the first update, and I think I did very well. I think for almost every book, I found 2 prompts that I could use it for. You know what I mean? I'm very proud of myself. This worked out so well. I actually had something else planned for Chiritori, but some of the work was on my side because the book that I picked out also started with E and also started with S and ended with E. It was Strangers in Time, S and E. And I figured I'm reading this one already, so let's switch it out and do this for Chiritori. I'm so proud of myself for that. And which means I only have 1 book left for Chiritori, and it's like there's an audiobook as well, so I can just listen to that on the fly and hopefully finish that quickly. Yeah. Anyways, I see you tomorrow with the full update, and I will give you screenshots of my Rocket bingo board. There's not that much going on, you know. Like I will give you the stats as well, because you can see a bit more there. But the main board itself, there's only 1 prompt done, and that is the Backlist order. The rest, no. Okay, so I see you tomorrow. Bye. So as promised, it is now August 1st, and I have not finished this book. I started it hoping to finish, but I have like 80 pages left. So this is Aesop's Fables. This will probably be the first book that I finished for August, so yay. Let me tell you about what I've read. 16 books, 15 or 16 books, I can't count. And they all counted for 2 prompts, which makes me so happy. I don't want to bore you with too many stats, but I will show you the page of my Hercules stats, right, if you get the spreadsheet. I've read a lot from America, which is due to my backlist order thing, because Miss McFadden very often writes from like New York or Brooklyn itself. So there's a lot of America going on. There's some Texas, some Idaho, and Washington. And then the rest of the world looks a little sad because we have Japan and we have Germany. We gotta work on that. The thing is, I read a lot of fantasy and a lot of settings that are not in the real world, so I'm not even bothered about that. You know, backlist order, I have 5 books, which means I'm done with it. Old Secret Homes, I have 4. Hercules Mashup, I only have 2. That is my lowest rated book by person of color. Numerical titles, only have 1. Chiritori, I have 4. I need 1 more. And I filmed the TBR for next month. It's on there. Chiritori is on there, trust me. Characters authors, I have 2. I need 1 more, and that is also on the TBR. Cover styles, I have 2. Remix, I have 1. Animal Families, I have 1. A Rainbow of Words, I have 1. That was All Systems Red by Martha Wells. Pokemon, I have 3. Title account, I have 2. Food Parent, I have 1. That was Red Apple. US Road Trip, I have 3. Need 2 more. And Curriculum, I have 2. And that is everything that I've started. I mean, I'm very happy that I got the backlist order done. My bingo board actually looks like this right now. It's not that great, you know, it's 1 prompt done. That's it. I'm so lucky that I have the Libby app and that Free My Friend has so many books and that so many of them are actually audiobooks, because otherwise I would not have been able to do that. So that is done. Chiritori is hopefully the next one that is done. That's in the same line. That's in the I line if you go for bingo. And then Characters Orders is in the B line. Choose Your Party, I haven't done anything. Periodic Table, I haven't done anything. Familiar Terms, I haven't done anything. Curriculum has physical education, because Hito Rivalry is a sports book, novel. Regional Tripsing. US states, like I said, I have 3. Should not be that hard, right? I mean, I read a lot of American authors. Granted, like I said, a lot of it is fantasy. And a lot of it is in LA and New York. So, please, let me know if you know a good book that is not somewhere in New York. Bookception. Sing prompts, like I said, I did a bit there. I did the Read Outside, I did the Hobby and Craft, because I made my BTS freebies, in case you didn't know. And, yeah, Movement, which is this. It doesn't really count yet, because I'm not done with it. And then most recent acquisition, that is Nemesis Mine, or was Nemesis Mine, because I sold it. Cover styles, I have 2. I have monochrome and I have illustrated. Title accounting, like I said, I have 2. That is The Boyfriend and The Husband Is Watching. No, 2 and 4. We're doing great. Characters to Authors, I have 2 and I need 1 more. Marcus, that is on my TBR. Chiritori, like I said, I have 4. I need 1 more. That is on my TBR. Hercules Mashup, 2 so far, 3 more. I only have 2 because I made the mistake of not ordering that. Title digits, I have 1 piece. 1. It's going great. Rainbow, All Systems Red. Do I need to say more? No. Animal families. Now, mollusks and reptile. But reptile also doesn't count it because I'm not done with it. But yeah, I will, by the end of the month, I hopefully have 3 of those. But so far, only 1 that fully counts. Biomes. Remix it. Remix. I have 1. It's not showing up for me, but I have 1. That's the villain's POV. Food Pyramid, I have 1 that is Apple. Which, that was a hell of a book. Oh my goodness. Weather. Yeah. It's your birthday. I mean, it was my birth month in July, and I probably should have read some birth books. Like, related to my birthday. And no, I didn't. Pokemons, I have 3. Like I said, I have Grass, Ground, and Fighting. Anthology. I'm not going to talk about that. Second Chances and Hidden Gems. I'm not going to talk about it. And then last one, I always put the ones that I finished at the back. So Backlist Author is what it looks like this. And I did the check off because I'm done with it. It was a lot of Freedom FM. And it was a lot of Freedom FM. I still love her and I love her books. But man, I hope that The Housemate is not getting another book, because that, like the last one, which is absolutely atrocious, that was a mess. I finished 1 prompt. That is, I don't want to glow too much, but I also don't want to jinx myself, but man, I gotta give myself some props. I finished a whole prompt in a month, and I started so many other ones. Now granted, for this one, it counts for 2, and obviously the book is not done yet, so technically every time you saw this book, it doesn't really count, but it will. I have like 80 pages left, like I said, so it will. That was it. Oh my goodness. Was that not the ride? That was a hell of a ride. Oh my goodness. So I will continue to read, because I don't know how I did it, but you know, for every book I read, I can buy a new one. I made it to 0 in July. I was at -6, and I still made it to 0, which means I cannot buy a new book this month. But I'm also not at a atrocious negative number, so I'm good. Once I'm done with this, I can buy 1 new book. I don't know what yet, but you know what? The priority that I have to buy is the lowest rated book by person of color. I have my TBR here that has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books. 2 more audiobooks that I don't have here. A Luskus Hush book that is still coming in. A July Illumicrate book that is still coming in because it's not here yet. And then probably August Illumicrate book as well. And the library. Anyways, I really have to go and read. And luckily, I said that in the TBR video, there are some audiobooks available for the books that I've planned out. So, because otherwise, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I should have done 1 prompt per month and then pick books that could fit different prompts. But in fact, I finished the whole Backlist Author thing, and I'm almost done with Shiritori. I only have 1 book left. You know what I mean? Like, I cannot show you a TBR with just 1 book. So, you know, I picked from different prompts, and I hope that I can manage it. Anyways, that was the first update for Hercule 3.0. Let me know how you did. I think I did great. Watch me totally jinx this, but I think I did great. So, anyways, even with I was in Paris for 3 days. I didn't read anything at all, and I still did so much. So, come on, give me some props here. So, I will take a shower, wash all this off. I don't know why I put makeup on. I haven't put makeup on in a while, so I figured do it now, slap it on. So I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to finish this, and then I'll pick a new book from my TBR. I should technically read the 2 remaining ones, like the last book for the Characters to Author and the last book for Chiritori. Right? Because I'm done with 2 prompts there. I'll see you in the next video, definitely. And I'm just so happy that I did so well. So, anyways,